everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another very eventful news update. It's been a pretty crazy, off-kilter 24 hours in the world of professional wrestling, with various strange things popping off all over the place. But we're going to start by talking about a little bit more of a sensible story, as Seth Rollins has taken to social media to deny the fact that a finisher has been banned by WWE. Elsewhere, also, we're going to talk about two superstars who were unfortunately robbed while at a show in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And finally, Kevin Owens has called out a very, very surprising opponent for WrestleMania 35. First of all, let's walk through the timeline of this Seth Rollins story. So, on Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins had the open challenge for his Intercontinental Championship, and to many people's disappointment, his mystery opponent was revealed to be Dolph Ziggler, because the two have faced so many times before. In fairness, the match was a pretty good one. Both men have really good chemistry. I guess that explains why they were feuding in the first place. But the finish was a surprising one which was met with a pretty positive reception online initially when Seth Rollins pinned Ziggler with his superplex into Falcon Arrow combination. This has been one of the more popular moves in Seth Rollins' arsenal of recent times. It's really physically impressive, the strength and the agility and everything involved with it, but it's never really put people away. Like Sami Zayn's Blue Thunder Bomb, it's a really nice, flashy move in his arsenal that people enjoy, but it doesn't put people away that often, especially in today's WWE climate where finishers only really finish matches. Finishers or roll-ups or something screwy. But usually if there's a clean finish to a match, it's often a pinning predicament or, more likely than not, a finishing move. However, the fact that Rollins didn't use the curb stomp, which has been previously banned in WWE, sparked rumours, I guess, online, or reports. Well, Wrestling News Source said it was a report anyway from a source of theirs, that the curb stomp had been banned again because of an ongoing dispute with the network, I believe. Now, Seth Rollins himself obviously saw this and thought that is absolutely incorrect, took to Twitter, directly responded to the tweet of the news story and said, no, that's not true. I think he even put some laughing emojis as well. So it's unfortunate for that reporter, but at the same time, good on Seth Rollins for coming out and for, I guess, backing up his own finisher, really. The curb stomp's a good move. Yes, it can be interpreted as a bit ultra-violent, especially given its place in pop culture. I'm thinking of American History X, of course. But at the same time, I think it's a good finisher. But I'm not averse to him finishing off opponents with that Falcon Arrow either, because I like the idea that a match can end at any time due to any move. Some unfortunate news to talk about now, because at last night's SmackDown Live and 205 Live event in Minneapolis, Minnesota, two superstars unfortunately had their rental cars broken into and apparently were robbed, although we don't know yet what was taken from those respective superstars. The men in question were 205 Live star and former Cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander, and 205 Live star and Raw superstar at the moment as well, my boy Lince Dorado. It's obviously really unfair and just not nice to see when something like this happens, but I guess the positive we can take from this story is that nobody was hurt. Apparently both wrestlers were in the building at the time. It was actually during the show itself, and that's when the cars were broken into. I don't know if they knew that it was a WWE superstar's parking area or whether they were just a random criminal looking for something to steal. Who knows? But I guess if more details emerge, we will fill you in. Luckily, both guys seemed in pretty high spirits on social media, again using emojis. Wrestlers love to use an emoji here and there, don't they? But they were obviously annoyed, but they still sort of made a joke of it as well, which is the best way to react to a situation like this, I think. And finally, well, Kevin Owens has called out a very surprising opponent for WrestleMania 35 next year. Which year of KO-Mania are we in already? I think we're approaching the KO-Mania 4. KO-Mania 1, I believe, was the ladder match at WrestleMania 32, which Zack Ryder won. I think KO-Mania 2 was at WrestleMania 33, when Jericho lost to Kevin Owens. I think KO-Mania 3 was at WrestleMania 34, when he teamed with Sami Zayn against Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. That's right, it must be that. I think that's right. Now we're approaching KO-Mania 4. Who's he going to face? Will it be, I don't know, someone crazy like Lesnar, Rollins, maybe a returning Sami Zayn, Ambrose, Rollins? I've said Rollins twice now. He pops up everywhere. No, Elton John. Elton John is who Kevin Owens has called out. Pop sensation Elton John. That's right, Kevin Owens is kind of renowned for his hilarious Twitter game, especially his recent interactions with Shania Twain, whom he is a massive fan of, and she even invited him on stage and stuff at the concert that he went to, which is lovely to see. It looks as though any interaction with Elton John might be a little bit more frosty from Kevin Owens' side of things, as he took to Twitter to explain he and his wife were going to the Elton John concert for a little date night between the pair of them. Lovely, really romantic, really nice. And then after waiting for about half an hour after the starting point of the show, it got cancelled. Now, being a wrestling superstar and legend, an independent legend, Kevin Owens took to Twitter and called out Elton John, the Rocket Man himself, and has asked him for a match at WrestleMania. I hope that Elton John responds. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but I hope that Elton John responds in sort of cheeky British fashion. That would be pretty fun. Maybe they can do something down the line. You never know. You genuinely never know in wrestling. You never know, unless it's Shaquille O'Neal, because he just doesn't turn up. So that's it for today's news update. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, at Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic, and check out our Patreon too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, if you haven't already done so, to hit subscribe and to join us.